Anthem? Yeah. Yeah, Anthem is not dead, man, by any means. So a former Anthem lead dev would love to revive the game given fans' demand. Anthem ain't dead, okay? And Anthem ain't a failure like a lot of so-called gamers want to put it. Okay? It says many fans think Anthem deserve a second chance. It been deserve it. What you got is like a lot of fake reviewers who like to tear games down, and they try to act like it can't be fixed. Anyway, oh, by the way, hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Yup. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good, or excellent. Alright, look. Got this article here from Tech for Gamers. Listen to this. Given the fans' demand for former Anthem lead Ben Irving would love to revive the game one day, many gamers argue that the IP held a lot of potential, and there are still many elements in the title that remained unmatched. Facts, that's true. And it says BioWare could possibly pick up the franchise again in the future after seeing the response of Anthem fans. They need to. But anyway, it says here Anthem developed by BioWare in 2019 is arguably one of the gaming industry's biggest woes. No, it ain't. It says here so far it's called they say it's the biggest woes because it's called laziness. But anyway, it says the highly promising franchise was a dud after release and soon fell deep into oblivion. No, it didn't. It says here, however, it still garnered a noticeable fan base that would have loved to see the game receive more support and love from the studio. Now, even a former Anthem lead developer wants to revive the game. It says former Anthem lead producer Ben Irving recently expressed interest in reboot the game one day, and it says now working at Crystal Dynamics. I'm gonna talk about this in a minute, but anyway, it says here he was taken back by the massive positive reception his opinions received. He says why it matters. Many fans think that Anthem would have succeeded if it had received more support and content after launch, as the franchise had a lot of potential. I've been said that months and weeks ago, but anyway, it says here while replying to a fan post on Twitter praising Anthem, Ben Irving clarifies that he'd love to revive the game. He added that he no longer works for EA or BioWare, so his involvement would likely be out of the question. However, he was still amazed by how everyone responded to his wishes. It says it's amazing how many people are still so enthusiastic about Anthem so many years later. Anthem still has all the potential in the world. It do. And then some. And then even more, that is. It says here, given more enthusiasm for fans, perhaps Ben Irving's interest could entice BioWare to focus on the franchise once again. And it says, given the disastrous state of Anthem, I love when they use that word when they can't explain it. But anyway, it says here, some gamers also argue that it should be buried gracefully. I'm going to address it. But what are your thoughts regarding the possible revival of the game one day? Let us know. Alright, here's the deal. There's some people in the YouTube community who thinks the video game industry evolves around them, and they think their decision is final. There's a lot of because they have a large following, they think the video game industry evolves around them. There were a lot of people that were giving Anthem fake reviews, okay, and what they fail to realize is that when it comes to open world games, it's not a one and done. It's not a one and done situation. You have to use DLCs and expansion to build those games. It's a it's like in construction okay, where you're building a building, and then once you get the foundation, and then once you get the frame up with the roof for starters, you got to keep adding pieces to complete it. It's the same thing with Anthem. The game is not dead by any means, okay? People were calling it, those people that called it a failure, they have no vision. They don't understand video games at all. Okay? Because in today's video game world, when it comes to open world games, you need DLCs and expansions to complete them. Because when you release an open world game, they're not done. You got to keep adding more expansion to it to build it. It's kind of like what who could I use here? It's kind of like what Rare did with Sea of Thieves. When they came out with it, they released it. When Sea of Thieves came out, a lot of people talked bad about it. But one thing that Rare did, they opened a line of communication with the user base that they had, and it was a constant back and forth of communication, and a back and forth of communication, and the communication turned into updates, and Rare kept adding to it. And look at Sea of Thieves now. The same people who were laughing at Sea of Thieves when it came out, those are the ones that's playing it. It just shows you that they don't know anything about gaming. So when it comes to Anthem now, you need DLCs and expansion to fix them. When it comes to the Avengers, I'm gonna throw the Avengers in this. The Avengers, when WB Games made DC Universe, right? They said from what I understand is like, okay, when the DC Universe came out on PlayStation 3, PC, and from my understanding, when they came out with that game, WB Games never said this. I am saying this from what I understand. When they came out with this with DC Universe, they said this in my own words. If you're going to make a superhero game, it needs to be in this format. Meaning that you take this format that DC Universe is in, right? And whatever superhero game you're coming out with, you take the DC Universe formula and add on top of it and expand it. Those are my words. Those are not WB Games words. Because when I looked at DC Universe when it came out, and I was looking at superhero games, the DC Universe had the formula. So everybody that's trying to build a superhero game, they had to follow that formula. Take that formula and run with it. Rocksteady did the same. Rocksteady looked at that formula, used it. Look at Batman Arkham Knight. Insomniac Game took that formula, ran with it. Look at Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. Okay? So Crystal Dynamics now, when it comes to the Avengers, all they had to do was take that same formula, layout, apply it to the Avengers, and then add on top of it. Did they do that? No. The game was missing a lot of content. So that game was never open world. It's not even open world. You need DLCs and expansion to fix that game. There's so much content missing from it. When it comes to Anthem, it's the same thing. You need DLCs and expansions to keep adding to that game. The base game that EA came out with, that was the start of it. Now you got to build on top of it. It's the same thing with Rare and Sea of Thieves. They came out with the base game. They weren't done. The user base that they had at the time, they loved it, and they talked to Rare, and then Rare talked to them, and it was like this, back and forth, back and forth. Look at Sea of Thieves. Look at Sea of Thieves now. So the same rule applies to Anthem. Anthem is not a failure by any means, and any YouTuber that told you that, they don't know video games at all. They really don't. They don't have the depth and the insight when it comes to games like this. This game is far from finished. It's not even done. You got to, because you got to have DLCs and expansions to keep this game going. Okay, and they could have expanded on it, like when you try to fly above the platform, when you jump in the suit and you're on the platform, you could run back and forth and decide how you want to jump off. They could have fixed the open worldness where you fly to the clouds and back. That part needs to be added to Anthem. The game is fun, man. Once you jump in that suit, it is fun, man. The rush that you get from that in a video game is unmatched. And I've seen games that came out that try to copy Anthem, man. Anthem did it best. So yeah, there's a game out right now by there's a game out right now called it's called Off the Grid. I think it's on the PlayStation and Xbox. It's one part Anthem, one part The Division, one part Apex Legend, and one part Call of Duty Warzone. It's 4 games in one. That's what Off the Grid is. So they got the Anthem formula. Anthem is not dead by any means. The game need DLCs and expansion to fix it and to see it all the way through. Because the game, when you're flying around in that environment, you're realizing how big this game really is. The amount of expansion it's going to take to fix it. A matter of fact, I think EA had some I think some of the developers try to update the game, but I think they stopped it. But they should have never done that. They should have kept adding like every 6 months or 6 to 8 months. You know, they come out with some updates for the game to keep it going. So people that's saying that Anthem failed, these people don't know video games, man. When the game came out, that was just the base game. That game is far from finished. The people that are still playing it right now, they know it. They're like, that's why they got at the developer Ben, like you know, asking about DLCs and expansion to fix the game, because they're realizing now that's what you need now for today's game now to complete them. So the game is not dead, man. So people were just giving bad reviews and then thinking that their opinion was final. No, it ain't. You know, they just want to. They think if a game comes out now, if a game come out in today's environment, it's a make or break. It's a make or break. You know, there's no such thing as like, oh, you can't fix the game. That's what they want to present to you. That's what those reviewers want to present to you. That game is far from finished. Far. they got some more work to do on this game, man. So I think BioWare should really take up the tab on Anthem and keep working on it. You know, because the CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, when they came out with it, and these reviewers, they try to review bomb the game. The same review bombers that tried to destroy the game and said, oh, it was a failure. Who you think is playing Cyberpunk now? Those people are. Okay, so their wording and their tone that they were using, they didn't realize that the game wasn't finished. They just try to review bomb the game. I bet you right now that those people that review bomb the game, they never really talk to the developers. They never really communicate with the developers. They probably was like yelling and screaming and thinking, oh, this game is a failure, it's a flop, blah 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 blah. But they never communicate with the developer. Those same review bombers right now, they're playing Cyberpunk. So the same treatment that Sea of Thieves got, and the same treatment that Cyberpunk got, that is what Anthem really needs, as far as gaming goes. Today's open world games are so big, you need DLCs and expansions to fix them. They're not done. Okay, so Anthem, the Avengers, Redfall, they need DLCs and expansion to build them. Okay, you got the base game. Okay, fine. Now you got to follow that up now. To with DLCs and expansion to improve the game. So in today's video game climate, man, that's what you need now. You know, a lot of people just tear down stuff. A lot of people just tear down games and then thinking they tear down the game and then they think those games can't be fixed. You know, and they're wrong on that. You know, so a game can be updated. A game can be fixed. It all comes down to now how committed are you to the project. That's what it comes down to. You know, it's like, okay, if you're gonna fix a game, okay, how committed are you to this project? The same goes for Crystal Dynamics. The Avengers, the open worldness need to be fixed. That's the problem with that game. And they need to look at DC Universe like, okay, this is what we need to add to to this game to get it about the hole that it's in, and then take it from there. So today's open world games, man, they're big, and this game is fun, man. That's why I got these got the cases up there. That game is Anthem is no joke, man. That game is fun, man. I mean, even if you play the game solo by yourself, when you jump off that platform, that environment is so big, man. Your mind just goes. Your mind is like, wow. It's like you want more. You want more from that game, man. And that's why I'm saying that game is not finished by any stretch of the imagination. So, EA now and BioWare, they got some thinking to do now. They're gonna have. I remember them talking about Anthem 2.0. You know, they're gonna have to go back on that, because those environment in that game is impressive, man. We were, jumping in the suit is one thing, man. But when you fly off that platform, whether you jump off of it or you do it's that fun, man. So EA and BioWare got some thinking to do, but that game is far from finished, man. It's far from finished. Yeah, the way you be flying in that game, man. The way you be flying and moving, and then you fly underwater and then fly out. Yeah, yeah. Open world games are the best, man. They're the best, bar none. So this game is not dead, man. People review bomb stuff, and they be thinking that games can be fixed. They just trying to, when people review bomb games, a lot of times they try to block progress. They try to block progress when it comes to games like this. So a game like Anthem, man, it needs DLCs and expansions to continue it, to continue going, because the first thing they gotta fix is, okay, how do we take these suits and fly them to the clouds and back to the once they fix that, once they fix that, man, the rest is history, man. They got everything. They'll figure everything else out. They just got to fix that one part, man. Look, even in DC Universe, I made a video months ago when I said I made a video talking about DC Universe, where you need to we need to get an update where we can land on top of the Gotham City police blimp, because if you go in Gotham City, you always see the GPD police blimp going around in circles. So we're like, okay, we need an update where we can get on top of the blimp and then jump off of it and fly and do what we gotta go do. I've been asking for that update for years. So DC Universe is not done. I still need that update, by the way. But DC Universe, though, laid the foundation out for a lot of games, man. But Anthem, man, yeah, that game is fun, man. It's fun. The people that still plays this game, they understand where I'm coming from. They understand where I'm coming from with this. So they know that the game ain't. They feel the same way I feel. That game ain't finished. It's not finished. Need some more updates. So EA and BioWare now, they're gonna have to really go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what do we need to correct on this? You know, going forward, we got a solid game. Okay, we got the base game now. Okay, what do we need to fix on this? Do we need to improve the story? Do we need to bring some more suits, some more mechs in? You know, do we need to give them like a look, you could add the Transformers to Anthem. That's how good the game is, man. You could add let's see, who else? Let's see here. Transformers, Gundams. You could add Transformers, Gundams to Anthem. You could even, man, it's that good, man. When you go in that environment, you're like, wow, there's a lot of you're saying to yourself, like, okay, this game has a lot of potential. So it now comes back now to EA and BioWare. how are they going to fix it? And I will tell them this: the first thing you fix is flying up to the clouds above the platform. You know what I'm saying, flying up to the clouds, and then once you fix that part, oh yeah, yeah, you fix that part, and then take off from there. So add your DLCs as you see fit, but they could bring new enemy. They could bring new people in. They could bring new villains in. They can bring new maps. They could bring what's the other? There's so much you can do, man. That game ain't finished, but the Anthem is not finished by any stretch of the imagination, man. The people that play the game right now, they know what I'm talking about, man. They love that game just like I do. So, oh yeah, it's that fun, man. We jump in them suits and we gone, and we're out. But like, okay, what's the next mission? And we're yeah. It's just the environments, man. It's just wow. Yeah. Anyway, but EA needs to fix that. Fix the like flying above the platform in the clouds, man. If they can fix that, oh my, yeah. We're looking forward to it though when they do though. But no disrespect to EA or BioWare, but that they need to go back to that game, man. Seriously, that's why people are like, they love it. The people that are playing it right now, they love it, man. It's I don't know how many people are playing right now, but I probably need to check Steam and find out. But they love it, man. That game, the open worldness of that game is impressive, man. I mean, the rush you get, man, walking through the markets, talking to people and all that, figure out how things are happening or whatever. But when you get in them suits, man, and you take off, oh yeah. So yeah, man. But I say all that to say this: open world games, they are the best. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, those Star Wars and Star Trek thing, or Dark Side. Go. Peace.